G'day, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Welcome back to another episode of Spectate the Player, where as a Chapter 1, Season 1 veteran, I'm going to be bringing you guys the latest and greatest tips, tricks, strategies, and more to winning not only more games, but more crowns in Fortnite Chapter 6. So guys, as always, if you guys are keen to see if this crown player up ahead here is going to be able to send it back for the 2 for 2, or at the back-to-back crown wins, make sure you guys do hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Alright, make sure you use creator code SurelyItsButter the next time you guys are in the item shop, and as always, kick back, grab some snacks and relax. Alright, we're going to be landing down a little bit to the northwards of the hive here, it seems. Now there has been a couple of players who I have seen land about here before in the past when spectating. There is definitely some other drop strategies at work here, so we'll see what this player decides to do. Of course, they do have a crown on them, which means they do have something that could potentially have worked in the past, or apparently it did anyway, but it is going to be at the resistance base over here. Now, for those of you guys who have already hit that like button and that subscribe button, you already know all too well my thoughts on landing this far out. Alright, I'm not a huge fan of it. It can be quite... How are you going? What is he doing? Okay, fair enough, bro. We've got Taylor Renee 2 here getting the kill. Do have someone else, of course, flying on down. But yeah, look, my thoughts are exactly, it is very far away. Right, there might not be a lot of other players here, and whilst it will offer you a safe sort of way to go about the game, maybe even be a great sort of rank strategy here, I wouldn't really want to go for this every game. You know, I think you guys really do want to be trying to get out of your comfort zone as much as possible. Whether that be simply by getting into more fights, you see bullets, you see a firefight going on, you absolutely go for it. But here we go, it might be a bot, but Taylor Renee will get the kill there. And now with that early A rank there, we're able to get that drop pod as well. So grabbing a little bit of loot here from this capture the flag. I might actually go spectate someone else. I mean, look, it's a hit and miss, you know, and it's going to be a hit and miss sometimes with these games, with these players who, you know, do land far away, but we'll just wait and see what they decide to do. But I'm giving up already. Who have we got here? We've got Mr. Persist here, who has landed down over a demon's debris, going for these geysers, which will be able to give him that 30 shield. And it's going to be using the Skull Trooper skin as well. So now I've seen a lot of players who use this skin are going to be absolutely pretty sweaty. You know, definitely I would say that the demographic of these players are going to be a lot better. Like, they're going to be a lot better sort of players. So yeah, that's going to be good for Mr. Persist, of course, using one of these little gazebo towers here with this rooftop as a fantastic form of high ground as well as cover. You guys know that when we land over a demon's debris, this is where we try to make our way up to as well, because you'll be able to have perfect sort of overwatch on all of these places here. The Oscar going down there, reloading the gun now, checking it to his side, to his left flank. That immediate snap there is really, really good to see. Basically, guys, whenever you guys are getting into these firefight situations, you get a kill or you finish shooting at your target, immediately you want to get into the habit of snapping your camera to your least defended area. Alright, so for this player, it was to their left. Just get into the habit of it, you know, and it becomes second nature eventually. A little bit like muscle memory, if you will. So, now, nearly 95, but nearly up to full health here. Mr. Persist will be going back up and over. Again, I'm not too sure what he is trying to do. Maybe the queen didn't spawn here, of course, so it might be the player over. If we have a look at the map here, this might be a dystopia city sort of drop. But look, with 4 kills to the name, Mr. Persist is absolutely... he seems to have had a very confident start, so it's a little bit of a shame that we did miss the beginning there, but I do feel like they're about to bring it back. Now, there will be some roly-polies nearby, just one to his right now, as well as a geyser. He could take either or and rotate out over here and probably go towards Dystopia City, maybe. But with a zone that seems to be pulling quite further away here, he does have a couple of options like these A-bolts as well. So maybe taking this geyser out now, he will. And that Megazord is going to be incoming. He glances up. He says, "But I'll tell you, should I go for it? Maybe I could." I think he could. Alright, there's going to be a car down here to the right. Train up ahead, guys. Train drop strategy right in Chapter 6, Season 4 is still very, very nice. Going to be able to get that guaranteed legendary chest About enough shield for about 60 or so health, just with the slurp barrels, and then of course you will have a slurp truck just down to the right there over at the floodgates. So quite a lot of potentiality here for wins now. Flipping that car, we'll see where he decides to go here. Some players will decide to go for the Megazord, some will decide to try and wait, let someone else grab it and then shoot it themselves. You know, and if that is the case, that is also fine. For me personally, I like to try and kill the players who are going to shoot at the Megazord. I don't like to really go closer to that Megazord. I find it can be quite RNG at times, and the odds are is that there's a significant, or at least a decent, maybe not significant, but a decent amount of odds there, amount of chance that you're going to be completely obliterated by that Megazord if the player is cluey enough. Let us see now, going for the Swarmer Nest here with that modular Frenzy auto shotgun. 36 other players are left in the game so far. Mr. Persist is just absolutely persisting on through. All the way over here at Ranger's Ruin. Now, there should be a whole sort of theme song or music, I believe, playing at the moment if this is one of those Queen drop spots. So I'm assuming the other Queen would be over underneath the mountain. Where is it? Underneath the mountain over at near Canyon Crossing there. Yoshi1216 getting killed there in the chat. Of course, the MK7 here. Some players are saying, Butter, it was absolutely nerfed, Butter. They tell me that I can't believe it, but apparently the recoil on it is quite insane. Just going to quickly go back to Taylor Renee here, see what she's been up to. She's got 4 kills, and she's still at the same place. Fair enough to Taylor Renee. We'll go back to Mr. Persist. Look, it's definitely a strategy. You know, I don't feel very confident in her ability for that late game sort of fight. I feel like she might struggle just because of the way that her playstyle seems to be in terms of, you know, landing somewhere far away, landing somewhere safe. You know, yes, she's got some kills, but are they bots? Are they real players? You know, that is the question. And I don't think that they are real. I really don't. Now, I used to be like Taylor Renee. I used to go from Season 1 to Season 4, even Season 5, really. I would go, okay, if my battle bus is landing in the middle, I'm going to land as further away as possible. That was my strategy. And as you guys can tell, I never got out of bronze. I was always dying off of drop when I did go somewhere sweaty. Tilted towers was a nightmare. I would quite honestly scream in terror. It was not the greatest. So I definitely believe getting used to landing at sweatier drops and more, you know, hot drop locations, etc., whatever you want to call it, is going to have a dramatic increase in your general win ability. Bit of a struggle there, but of course Taylor Renee getting another kill on Puppy Dance 9. Here we go, Mr. Persist now rolling up and over here. Guys, we did just reach 2,000 subscribers as well, so I just want to give a quick shout out to all of you for your support. And a big thank you as well. So I know I did make a post there, but a big round of applause to all of you guys for helping us on this journey. We're trying to hit 5k, so yeah, look, we're halfway there. I think we're a little bit under halfway there, so hopefully, maybe, surely one day we will get there. But yes, please do, in the meantime, hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. The Hive here now, Mr. Persist has been to 3 out of, I believe, 2, 4, 5 of the total locations there for these queens. And it seems like he's a little bit late to all of them. But that being said, you know, you're going to be able to get quite a lot of OXR points. Or at least a decent amount. There is a player across the hill there. It doesn't seem like Mr. Persist saw them. He has spotted someone else, though. Jumping up and over to another area of the Hive here. A chest is going to be waiting. Alright, will he go towards these shots? I think you really do need to go to these shots, right? I think if you guys want to continuously sort of ignore it, 100% that is fine. That is within your realm of possibilities, of opportunities. But if you guys are wanting these wins, you need to be getting out of your comfort zone. Now, with that being said, there are other ways to get out of that comfort zone that, you know, aren't just really going to be a battle royale sort of centric thing. So one of those things, guys, we do have a Shockwave Hammer player coming in here, I heard. But one of those things is going to be, he hears them as well, he says, but I tell you, I'm a little bit nervous. We do have a hot dog here who has come looking. He misses the shots though, all against that rock. The Shockwave Hammer around to the side flank here. He jumps again for the double. One more use, he does use it. He's got none left but 2 Shockies. He gets a bit too high there, not as further as he could go, but again for the double time. And he didn't use the Flowberry Fizz beforehand. That is a... Look, it's not really a blunder, but it is going to not be the greatest thing in the world. Alright, he will, of course, have this Porta Potty here to get him back over to the Swarmy Stash. Which, in my opinion, is going to be one of the greater places to drop of the season. It's a little bit weaker now. But the reason why it is so great is because you will get 3 sort of opportunities there for Slurp Trucks. So, 300 health off of spawn, completely free. You know, is absolutely brilliant to see. Taylor Renee getting into a bit of a skirmish here. Getting the kill on Prometheus. Well played to them. Shiny Shafts is a location we haven't seen in quite a while. So this is really, really good to see. I think trying out these spots is also going to be quite nice and refreshing. Going for that cheeky flare gun here. A player outside the walls. Feeling like they're in a silo or something here. Close quarter combat. Well done. Greedy 33 will be going down. Now we're going to spot... There is going to be the medallion player. All the way over to yonder there. I kind of want to see if we can find them. We do have C-Star 2000. A couple of kills to the name. Will be one of those Power Ranger skins. We've also got Schmicky. Alright, Schmicky is going to be the hot dog. Going for the TMNT. He will send back Ducklord 99. But again, they're not going to be the medallion players. So who else do we have? We do have Nifty Unicorn 504 going for a cheeky little loot up. And we've also got Winnie Churchill. Winnie Churchill. Another Power Ranger skin here. 5Ks to the name with that Blade Blaster. Blade Blaster as well as the Eradicator Shadow. A great choice. And then we have Jigsaw 6. We know Jigsaw. Jigsaw is a good player. We've spectated him a couple of times, I think, in the past. And I think I've seen him. I've played up against him a few times as well. So 6Ks to the name for this medallion player. Jigsaw running the Swarm Strike as well as the Falcon Eye Sniper, which has been brought back recently. A really good choice of sniper. I mean, look, it does have that variable zoom. So if you guys zoom in with it, you'll get 2 options now. Compared to prior, where it didn't really have that. But running as well with the Valve Precision is an interesting choice, you know, paired with that Frenzy. I think it's a decent choice. It seems like he's going for a very cheese ability strat, and that is very Jigsaw. That is pretty much his strategy that I've noticed, is to go for things like your Swarm Strike, for your Faraway Sniper. Look, the close range he might have sorted with that Vald and the Frenzy. But for me, of course, I go by a different strategy. I'm more of an OXR plus a Sentinel plus the Wrecker Revolver for the double pump. I think there's many ways you can play it. You know, there's many different ways you can do it and cut that cake, but whether or not he's going to be able to eat it too is anyone's guess here. With a couple of cheeky flowberries, you really want to be going for the geysers with this much health. You know, you can also sit in those pools, it seems, for a more slower healer. This big Budu here will be getting 2 kills to the name. And again, some more cheeky loot ups there. Head over back on to Jigsaw 6. It's a slow heal up. I think his best bet is to go for a geyser. Yes, it will make you a little bit more out of the open there, but I mean, look at the lobby right now. Everyone is seemingly... I think this is just the state of the game, right, to some extent. Now that the medallions have been removed... Oh, coming up behind Big Budu here. Let's see, the Valve Precision. Now, this will be the Shadow Precision. Right, which means if you shoot a player once, you'll be able to lock onto them. Right, you'll be able to see them through walls and all sorts of mischief here. Winnie Churchill now coming in for the close range. The Valve Precision. He runs out of ammo though. It's absolutely classic for this gun. Winnie Churchill with the 30 health. Absolute. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why we do not pick up the Valve Precision. And it's honestly why it is such... This is why we call it the Nerf gun, right? Because you need to hit every shot pretty much close range for it to kill a person. Let alone long or medium. It is a dangerous weapon to have. It does have a lot of utility with that Shadow Tracker. However, it will differ from the exotic Shadow Tracker suppressed pistol. Right, which works the same as the Valve Precision Shadow Tracker. But it has an increased magazine size. Which is one of the biggest sort of concerns there with the suppressed pistol. Way too small of a clip. So yeah, the exotic helps out here. And so it's for anyone knows really why, like God knows why, what reason they have made the exotic Valve Precision not do the same in terms of increasing its magazine size, because as you guys can see, it can be quite damning if you miss a few of those shots. So, jumping over here to the S drop pod for Big Budu. Going for it now, let us see. Getting sniped over from the corner. This has got to be Jigsaw. He's hiding on the wrong angle. Old mate's got to reload though. Still getting shot at here. He will miss quite a few of those shots. Absolutely. Picture perfect there for the Falcon Eye. Getting shot at once. The 29. He's aiming at the sky. 24 health left. I tell you, there's going to be quite a few things Big Budu can do here, but I don't think many of them are going to include winning the game. He will manage to try to jump away here. Only 24 health left. It's going to be quite a hit and miss. Of course, we do have a bomber bug now spawning on top of him. We'll go to Jigsaw now. We'll see what Jigsaw's doing. Hiding in, frankly, quite an open area. He does have that medallion, which we'll be able to scan around him every so often, which will help. I almost thought I saw someone inside the building there, but I could be wrong. He's waiting for something, though. He does have this hill. There was someone there. Okay. Interesting. Guys, make sure you rewind that video in 0.25 speed and see if you could spot them through that window there. Let us see. We do have quite a lot of Hammer Shockwave players going out there. Do have Schmicky coming out from the zone. That zone, of course, having a buff. Double damage. Quite a lot of changes there for the season. Look, not an awful lot, but definitely enough to kind of keep everyone on their toes, I feel. We do have Schmicky here running the Falcon Eye as well with that Hyperburst pistol, plus a very nice legendary OXR gun. 5 kills to the name. 5 players remain here for Schmicky01. Going to be coming up towards the outskirts of zone with 8 seconds left and no shockwaves. He does have the hammer, but with no shockwaves. This player will need to get a move on very, very quickly, especially with those buffs to the storm. He's going to be waiting for the outskirts. Now, there is a car outside he can take here to rotate on in, but whether he takes it or not is going to be anyone's guess. He does. I think he's waiting for someone, surely, right? He's either waiting for someone, or he might also be trying to wait for everyone else to move on, and then he comes up behind them. That might be the play here. It honestly wouldn't be a terrible strategy. It's definitely going to be nice. However, with that zone, 5 damage per tick. Absolutely insane. Rolling down like a hot dog if I ever have seen one. I tell you what, the 5-second rule would absolutely be something you need to increase to 10 there. An airstrike over to the distance. We'll go see what everyone else is up to. We've got Taylor Renee still in the game. 7 Ks to the name. I think she might have got the most amount of kills. I think so far. We're about to find out, but she goes down to Schmicky. Unfortunate behaviour there for Taylor Renee too. You got to be careful, guys. You got to be checking your angles. You got to be checking behind yourself. If you guys are being quite slow to rotate or being quite slow to loot things, bear in mind other players aren't going to be as forgiving. You know, when you're going up against the top 5, the top 10 player base as well for your game, these are players who have more often than not been quite quick. These are players who have landed in the sweatier drops. They didn't do what Taylor Renee did and land all the way on the top left corner there. So just bear that in mind. The stakes are a lot higher, and the player base is going to be a lot sweatier and, again, less forgiving. So let us see here. Schmicky with the high ground, top 3. We do have Jigsaw lining up the sights there. The Storm doing too much damage. He does, of course, Shockwave Hammer across the river now. 1 left, it's gone. No mobility left and no heals for Schmicky01. Do have someone else shockwaving, hammering over here. Mr. Persist now with the hammer. Over and up. I tell you, if he could reach for the stars or jump any higher, he'd potentially land on the moon. Alright, this Skull Trooper now has the back angle here of these 2 players, hiding behind a rock himself, and he has managed to get that zone. So, but I think he hears someone. I really do. Guys, you know what 2 buttons to press if you've enjoyed this episode so far. He's waiting. He does notice they're there. He decides to wait. Now, you really want to be going up and taking advantage of this player on the high ground, or at least waiting for him, but look, I think it's really hard. This is hard to say. On one hand, you've got one player down there below. He missed his chance. Mr. Persist with the 69 health. with that Hop Rock Fury here. Only 33 left on him, though, with no shields. He's got 19 health. Now, there will be a geyser here, which will be able to give him that 30 health restoration. But unfortunately, it will shoot him up into the sky as well. So, this might be a little bit of a give and take here. I think we're about to find out any moment now. Surely someone will shoot at him. He goes for the tree, though. They all miss their opportunity here. And now Mr. Persist has the high ground. And some relatively decent cover here with regards to... I wouldn't say it's camouflage, but you are able to really, ignore being seen. Just by positioning yourself on one of these different leaf pads here of the tree. Now, he will be marked on the map. He wants to hope no one knocks down this tree, because he is going to take a bit of damage. And I don't think you can shockwave hammer off of this as well. Right, it's Jigsaw versus Mr. Persist here. Mr. Persist might win by the tree method here. He does have... No, the low ground here. He misses the shots, though. The Fury doesn't have the greatest ammunition size. The zone for the 10 damage. It adds to 20. 29 left. He's only got 4. Jigsaw 6 will be getting the kill there. Unfortunate. But look, well played to Jigsaw. Guys, if you did enjoy that episode, make sure you hit that like button. And you hit that subscribe button. And as always, take care. Garnier.